Good morning from the Possible Dream Homestead. Alright, so this morning my mate Kim from Little Acres Homestead shared a link and it was 66 recipes to do with bananas. It's from Taste, as you can see. This one caught my fancy. As we can see, I have yet to learn how to print from my phone. Something else on the to-do list. Anyway, it's banana, oat and seed cookies. Okay, so there was a few things on here I did not have and honestly don't really like. I don't really like cranberries, so they're off. But I do, however, have this mix that does have cranberries in it. And I kind of like it. It's got a little bit of everything, nothing too fancy. All these pepita seeds, sunflower seeds. I have got quick oats. I think it's Uncle Toby's, not sure. Canadian maple syrup, Woolies Spanish olive oil, and the key ingredient, some bananas that are well past their yummy, eat fresh, use by date. Okay, so I've substituted in my things. I've got the dry mix in together already. Something I prepared earlier. Always want to say that was fun. Anyway, so just the Hikers mix, the stuff tends to stick together and I don't want that in my cookies. So just sort of mixing it in with the oats. If there's, because there's like dried banana and everything in there, the bigger bits just breaking down, but see how the cranberries stick together? We want them to separate, same with the sultanas. Should be much better, but see there's a bit of almond in there, a little bit of everything really. I actually normally have it on my cereal of a morning. I figured it would work beautifully for this. All right, now for the bananas. So it says that I have got to do, oh, forgot a knife. It says that it has got to be 3/4 cup of mashed banana. Now, I have got no idea how much 3/4 cup of mashed banana is. By the way, we keep the skins. I've got an old Nescafe jar. In goes the skin. That will be fertilizer for the garden. All right, so I need something that's going to show me 3/4 cup. This is a cup measurer, so we'll work with this, I think. And that way, the worst that I can actually do is put in a cup's worth, and that would be a shame. So I'm just simply mashing it with a fork. And, you know, just go with it. Now, normally I'm a little bit fly by your pants sort of cook. Very rarely do I use the same measurements on everything. Just because this is the first time around for me, I will actually try to stick pretty close to the actual true measurements. But these bananas are too big to actually just fit into a 3/4 cup sugar. Okay, there we go. First time using the camera, almost sent it flying. Oh, I'm in the phone. So it'll probably end up being a cup of banana, which I don't think could really hurt. I don't like the strings, so I get rid of them. You know, it's all on personal preference. Okay, oh, it's the little sucker. Okay, so mash, 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 mash. So there we go. You know, like it doesn't really say whether it's supposed to be squashed down or anything like that, but a cup is okay. I can live with that. All right, now because I've got the dry ingredients all together first, I'm going to mix my wet ingredients together and then put the two lots together. Yeah. Maple syrup. So I actually saw this maple syrup in Woolies, of course, because I'm just a Woolies shopper. And I had bought it for another tangent idea. By the time, it took me a couple of weeks to actually get the maple syrup. Once I got the maple syrup, I forgot what the tangent was that I was going to make with it. Story of my life, really. Okay, so here we go. We want 1/4 of a cup or 60 mils. All right, so no, I'm not going to try and read 60 mils on there, but this is a 1/2 cup measurement. So by rights, half of that is 1/4 of a cup. So yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, put the lid back on it before I spill it, and then it's the same of olive oil. Okay. Now the reason I'm putting all these together, and I'm really hoping I remember what I read right, is I do have the instructions over here. Okay, so yeah, it just says on the normal recipe to drop everything into a bowl and stir it up. So this is my idea of how to put it together, just from past experiences with wet and dry mixes. To mix them together. Ooh. So that's interesting, trying to mix them together. Should have probably done a bit more preparation. Maybe I should have made the recipe before doing it on camera. Maybe that should have been a good idea. But no, I would have run out of bananas, because I don't buy a lot of them, because as you can see, they don't get eaten a lot. All right, so dry mix. It's all looking pretty good in there. Pour in the wet mix. And then it says until combined well. Gone a bit silent here, probably because I'm not used to talking while I do things like this. And first time around with the camera, hopefully it's going to be okay. But anyway, well, technically I'm doing it with the phone, but recording something that I'm making. Alright, so that looks pretty all mixed together to me. Yeah, it says, okay, some water for damp hands. Okay, just have a bit of water there. I might get rid of the recipe because, as you can see, I'm a mucky pup and that will get wet for sure. Go down in the cupboard. Okay, so I've got trays with the baking paper on them. Yes, okay, the camera can still see that. I've sprayed it with some spray olive oil. Damp hands, Tanya. It's supposed to be damp hands. All right. It says 2 tablespoons of mix. Yep. That looks pretty good. Feels a bit gritty, to be honest. I don't know what I expected the texture to feel like when making them. But yeah, gritty wasn't really it. Glad I had the forethought to actually make up 2 trays, because I'm just being a little bit slap happy here like normal. Alright, so that's the first one. There's another tray. Alright. So let's make up these last few. I don't know if you can see that there, that Hiker's mix actually has a few choc bits in it here and there. And it's chocolate, not carob. I'm not a big fan of carob. And I figure, considering I eat very little chocolate, that little bit of chocolate in there is not going to hurt me too much. My waistline probably says otherwise, but anyway. All right. Last one, don't want to waste any seeds. All right, onto the tray. Now, these go in the oven at 140 degrees, and I will check how long for. 140 degrees. For how long is a good idea? 30 to 35 minutes, it says. Alrighty. So let's go on 35 because the mixture did feel quite damp. And that's it. And I will come back later and show you how they come out of the oven.